Hello, I am Melissa Lean Othman, and this is my collaborative partnership project focusing on developing a parent teacher association at William Pitcher Junior High in Covington, Louisiana. William Pitcher Junior High is comprised of over 300 7th and 8th graders. Centered in the heart of Covington, Louisiana, many of the students that attend William Pitcher Junior High have also had their parents and grandparents attend William Pitcher Junior High. However, over the last 2 years, William Pitcher Junior High has seen a dynamic shift in administration and teacher staff member. During the last 2 years, this turnover in administration and teachers has created a gap between the communication between parents and staff members. In order to create a better cohesive partnership with the parents, teachers, and even students at William Pitcher Junior High, I decided to look into our parent-teacher association at the school. What I found was that while we used to have a PTA, we no longer had a PTA that was. So my question was, how could we improve the communication between parents, teachers, and administration? This matters because without communication, there is increased tension among teachers and parents. We see it in the emails that we get, we see it in the amount of parent-teacher meetings that we have. So, students would ultimately benefit when teachers and parents are on the same page, collaborating. The old adage is, it takes a village, and it's true when it comes to junior high students. So, I identified various questions for a broader topic of just not only communication, but how could we increase community involvement? By working with parents who have ties with the community, we might be able to bring more community members into our school and creating that cohesiveness between the community and the school like there was before. One decidedly large barrier is COVID-19. So while forming a parent-teacher association sounds like a great idea, at the same time, we have to take into consideration all of the different shortcomings that we would have to face due to COVID-19. So we would have restrictions on meetings, we would have restrictions on interactions, and we would have to be creative and think outside of the box. Another barrier is that teachers, parents, and administration all have a lot on their plate. So organizing an association like this will take a lot of strategic planning and planning at the beginning before it's actually implemented. Therefore, this is still at the beginning stages. The scope of the project is to think about the students. What do the students need? Especially right now during COVID-19 and this pandemic, there's a lot of unknowns, there's a lot of instability, and therefore we really need that communication between parents and teachers to be strong so that we can help the students ultimately be successful. Due to the barriers listed before, the scope of this project is still in the beginning stages. Much strategic planning needs to be implemented in order to have successful meetings and successful involvement from parents, teachers, and community members. As I've shown in this picture, the stakeholders are pretty evident. I think the biggest stakeholder is the students. Our students need to feel like they're supported. And where do they get that support? They get that support from parents, teachers, administration, and furthermore, if we take it one more step, even the community members. When the community members invest in their students, now they have a greater outcome of students investing in the community later on the road. Working with two of my stakeholders, Mr. Frederick and Ms. Sinez, the assistant principal and the English teacher respectively, we came up with these OKRs. The first is our objective, which is to improve communication with parents of our students at the school. The first KR is create a newsletter that gets emailed out to parents twice a grading period. This keeps the parents connected with what's going on in the school. The second KR is to make at least 2 phone calls to a parent each week. This can be about something positive the students have done, or how can we help improve the students' performance in our classes. This is going to get us connected to the parents and have the parents see that we're reaching out to build those relationships in order to establish a parent-teacher association. The next KR is to identify students who need extra teacher communication. Also, to assign teachers to work with various students who have specific needs. That way, not every single teacher at the school is contacting the parents, but that the parent has one contact teacher. All of these different KRs go into the objective of improving communication with parents. That way, they see that we are invested as. Since this project is in the early stages, the first vision objective is to improve that communication with parents. If we can improve that communication with parents now, it'll help to incite more parent involvement in the parent-teacher association that we hope to implement at our school. When thinking about coming up with some solutions for how we can implement the Parent-Teacher Association, I looked back to Glasser and I made sure that when we have these meetings or when we get together with parents or stakeholders, we need to have an organized space that allows for participants to think together. We need to create norms and identify expected outcomes. When thinking about the physical setting, this one is a little bit more difficult due to COVID-19. Therefore, Zoom online communication may be implemented in the early stages. We need to make sure that the participants see themselves as part of the team rather than individuals or opponents. Make sure that they understand the clear vision that between parents and teachers and administration, if we have increased communication, then our students are ultimately going to benefit more. Then we also need to talk about how we are going to assess data and where we're going to get that data. So that would come in the form of questionnaires and surveys that we would send out to the parents, staff, and even students just to see if they feel like the communication has improved and if they're feeling more supported in the class. Davis says group cohesiveness is a matter of degree and emphasizes the dynamic nature of the relationship among members. Thinking of Tuckman's model, while it includes 5 stages for building a solid foundation and creating a group of people who can work together, the stages themselves can only be as useful as the people willing to implement them. Therefore, I identified Holman's 4 main features of team building instead of Tuckman's. Holman said that you need to identify a group's task, the technology that is used, personal background of the members, and management style of the organization. So the group task is to develop ways to improve communication between parents and students and teachers and allow them to bring in community members so that William Pitcher Junior High can go back to kind of its basic roots. Going back to its roots really means that the community feels invested and involved in William Pitcher Junior High. So therefore, that's the ultimate task, is to improve communication and to bring in collaborative partners within the community to build William Pitcher Junior High up. Technology is obviously going to be a big benefactor here because of COVID-19. So we're going to need to implement different uses of technology, such as the Zoom online application. The background of the members is understanding the community that we work in. The community that we work and serve in is a very diverse community. Everything from differences in race, differences in social economic status, etc., play into the type of community that we serve. The last one is the management style, and that style is to be more of the servant leadership management style. Finally, the expected outcome is that together we can make a difference. Again, it takes a village, and right now, especially due to the pandemic, increased communication between parents, teachers, and administration will help the students be more successful. Then we can branch out and hopefully allow for community partners to come in and also reach out to the students, making William Pitcher Junior High a place that people want to send their students and a place that students leave better than they came in. Thank you.